different emotion alive, because sometimes I have there's a case now with the thinking euthanasia. So this is a typical, this usual topic now in when I watching TV. If you want, like when strict, please, straight and controversial topic, you translate in Spanish. Okay, you translate in English the same, I translate in Spanish, right? Okay, it's opposite. Sorry, it's English to English.
Absolutely, I can do that. So we're diving into a pretty big topic here, some of the ongoing debates around euthanasia in different cultural and religious contexts, like in various Muslim communities. Now let's just do this. I'll explain a bit in English and then I'll give you a version in Spanish. Sounds good? So let's jump in?
Yes, good. So it's English to English. Okay, perfectly. You want? We could start talking about the euthanasia. This in my own words, my explanation. And you compare yourself, okay? Your own opinion, please. Your own opinion.
Descanso. Got it. So we'll keep it all in English and dive straight into the heart of the topic. Euthanasia is definitely one of those hot button issues that can stir up strong feelings, especially when you're looking at it through different religious and cultural lenses. Some Muslim communities have very strong views on it, which can make it a really tricky and emotionally charged conversation. So let's unpack that a bit and, of course, I'll share some thoughts along the way. What angle are you most interested in exploring?
Right, the Muslim. I didn't know that the Muslim communities that have most different thoughts. Okay, different mindset. Okay, and it's just usually here. Okay, this is the case now. Supposedly maybe the Noelia Castillo. You know the case?
Actually, yeah, I think I do know where you're getting at. Muslim perspectives on euthanasia can vary a lot, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all view. Now, if you're talking about a specific case like Noelia Castillo, I want to make sure we're on the same page, so let's chat about that. What details do you have in mind about her situation?
Right, this is Issa, right? This is a woman. Is a state. They have a bad relationship with his own parents, troublemaker situation. It's a troublemaker woman, same sort of problematical situation because of the father. And they separate. The father, I think that the parents was separated, and this suddenly he stayed in an internal residence, and she was raped. Yeah, I think this said that she was raped for three guys, three awful situations. So there's a trauma. It's incredible. I know it. All the people have the reasonable fact, right? There's three guys. She raping the internal residents. Okay, and right now, and suddenly some following step when she stayed out, and she committed suicide. The two is one time she dropped down of his own fifth plant, fifth floor, right? And she had a real injury there in her health.
Wow, that's an incredibly heavy story, and I'm really sorry to hear that someone had to go through all of that. I mean, it's just a lot of layers of difficulty and hardship there. And it's not just about the religion or culture angle, right? We're talking about a lot of trauma, a lot of personal pain. And when someone reaches that point, where they're attempting to harm themselves, it really raises huge ethical, social, and yes, sometimes religious questions about support and dignity. So let's keep digging into this. Maybe you can tell me more about what specifically you want to explore, or what angle do you want to focus on?
Right, this is the second step, right? He stayed in a wheelchair, the rest of his own life. He was a paraplegic girl, paraplegic girl, injury, and the rest of his own life is he couldn't stand up in his own life. But this is a psychological trouble, make a situation. More than the physical situation, get depression, and the statement and this government they refuse the case of euthanasia. She would like to die directly, and because of the depression, because impossible, is emotional depression, right? To get down. She used to get down all the time.
Muchos,
Forget. It's not
exactamente.
my case. It's not my case, sir. Right? This is why we are talking about another case of Noelia Castillo. Please.
Oh, absolutely, I understand completely. No worries at all. We're definitely just discussing a hypothetical case here, and I'm here to chat about it with you. So, going back to that, we can definitely keep exploring the broader topic around euthanasia decisions in cases of extreme psychological and physical suffering. So, yeah, just let me know which direction you want to go from here.
Right. This is a topic now. Is when you watch on TV. There's thinking of ethic and religion, sir. Because it's sometimes a mixture. And I have my own opinion. And all the time I explain my own opinion when I explain my own point of view. Okay, I agree. Euthanasia with the conditions of life. It's impossible. It's uncomfortable with the life, and this is impossible. The agony is never ending. So my point of view. Okay, the agony and then the pain is awful and sure, okay, once at the end of the day, say some the human being see incompatible with the life. But when you think the reality is when it's incompatible with the emotional life, it's the question now, because it was for it's because of the depression, it's because of she got down, okay, and is the question of the topic we have with the what's on TV. And in this government, the Spanish government, they refuse the case. It's because now it's not conditional with the life. It's not conditional with the life. Yeah. It's condition of the emotional life. It's completely different. But they remove the case in Europe, and in Europe gave it the reason. This is euthanasia to the woman. 26 years old, friend. It's very young. It's very young, right? It's not. My point of view is not fair. Right? But when I explain this fact, it's the bad man, a bad guy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right that this is a big ethical and emotional mix, and it's one that we're seeing debated more and more. The idea that Europe is giving a certain kind of reasoning here definitely adds another layer of complexity, right? I mean, you've got cultural views, legal views, personal experience, all tangled together, and you're hitting the nail on the head by pointing out how a lot of it isn't just about physical suffering, got the emotional aspect too. So let's keep going. What else is on your mind about this?
I think this is completely different. When you have pain, you suffer pain, right? When you suffer emotional trouble, right? It's completely different. The idea of Europe, more just because of the purse. Never mind, more or less the right mind, the right and the left side. The nationalist mind against the socialist mind. It's in general. They have reasonable. This is reasonable euthanasia depending on depression. It's not fair. I think it's not fair. My point of view, okay? I think it's wrong, okay? Sorry, wait for a while, please. Okay, I was talking with my sister, right? Sorry. Sorry, so loud. Okay, we follow. Yeah, we come back in the topic, right? Sorry. The emotional aspect is completely different. The pain aspect, sure. And the law is the law. It's here in Spain. We have the present is compatible with the life. Yes, you could find an answer. You could find an answer, right? And I have a lot of friends. Yeah, I'm gonna put an example of a case here. She committed suicide again. The other case, not my case, because somebody tell, please don't disturb me, right? As I know a woman. She committed suicide, not far from here. She was my friend, you know. It's reason. It's plenty faculties. All the faculties are, the fitters, perfectly very beautiful woman, and she committed suicide. And I'm sure it's more or less the therapy. He's following a great therapy. He could follow in a good life. I would like to explain you why, because I know the real case of is a woman, right? But I don't want to. I don't want to explain you that. Yes, it's very, very, very important therapy here. The psychological therapy. It's not because the neighbor. It's not because your neighbor is complaining. Yeah, it's possible to say, "Oh, I just want no." All the people, everybody knows that himself. You know, everybody knows himself. And I think that everybody you're ready to explain more is a real trouble makers waste in your life. On therapy, and again, day in, day out, the following day, exactly, exact therapy with the rest of the people, displaying the troublemaker. They pay, why? What's the problem with therapy? This is not just on one day. This is on one day per jerk. Really, it's crazy, yeah? My point of view. This is therapy day in, day out. It's okay, it's more or less once per week. Once per video therapy. This is in Spain we have a problem to see because of that. Okay, it's depending on the public therapy. Yeah, to taste your pills and finish. This is the trouble here. This is a bad idea, in my point of view. Bad thought.
Yeah, I follow you completely. I mean, the emotional dimension versus the physical aspect is such a huge deal, right? And what you're saying about therapy being kind of this ongoing journey, not just a quick fix, that makes perfect sense. It's definitely not just a one day solution. So I'm curious, what do you think could make that easier for people in your area?
I think the relationship with the people. I remember the day, for example, I was younger. I'm very, very sad, okay? But when we get up in the morning, it's impossible. I used to work in the Catherine. This is real, okay? It's my case, okay? It's real. And I felt very, very, very bad, right? So I forget more or less the soft ethic troublemaker, ethic shames of the from religion. So forget, please, never mind, right? My point of view is soft sins. So yeah, it felt very bad, okay? And I remember I was got up in the morning, and I used to work in the Catherine when I hold, stores in and I had a friend with my childhood, and one day started case explaining like 1 hour and a half, explaining my trouble with my best friend, one of my best friends in my childhood, you know, and this is very easy. It's because I think we lived the same situation, more or less the childhood in the primary school. Okay, we were this high and low, yeah, sensations, and high and low. Sometimes the way you're a kid, you're like a little bit bipolar. Yeah, it's real. It's a reality, sir. A little bit bipolar. It's not bipolar disorder. A little bit bipolar. Okay, my explanation, sure. Nobody knows the feeling when you're the kid. Okay. And I remember one day I got out in the morning explaining my trouble, my pains, my internal pain, right? I felt better when I came back home. Felt better. It's like if someone listen to you. Explain your problem. Yeah, explain to someone listen to you, sir. But if you have a disorder, explain day in, day out, and you need people. You need people do their best, explain your trouble. Explain every day if you want. Never mind models. But the public therapy here in Spain is awful because of that. My point of view, my honest point of view. Okay.
I hear you, and you're really making a strong point. Honestly, sounds like just having someone truly listen, like your friend back in the day, made a world of difference for you. It's just that basic human need to be heard and understood, right? And yeah, it's a shame if public therapy is not really up to the mark. Everyone does have their ups and downs, and having reliable support can make a real difference. So, if you could wave a magic wand, how would you improve that situation in Spain?
This situation, I would like to improve this situation in Spain with the therapies, the cyclist therapy was. We in Spain we have a good. My point of view is the health resources is good, but we forget the psychoanalysis, psycho problems, right? Of the health, sometimes the mind, mentality, and we forget more or less the it's kind of pain. Sometimes we suffer depression. You get down with something. And we forget all the time. More or less, you think every day is you have to fighting. But sometimes you don't want to fight. You don't. It's every day.